Right, let's take a quick look at the fantasy scenario generator. This is an inspiration for the referee or the GM or the DM who's looking to make up a new mission for the players to follow in his fantasy RPG. So when you unzip the file you get from DriveThru RPG, you'll find inside there's an HTML page. This is a web page, but you don't need a connection to the internet, you don't need any of that heavy technological stuff. All you need to do is just click on it and drag it into your browser of choice. In my case here, I'm using Chrome, and then let go. And it opens up the fantasy scenario mission generator for you. I've got a button here, and all you do is you just click on this many times as you want until you get something you like. So I'm just going to click a few at random here, just so you can see how it keeps changing, constantly coming up with new ideas. So let's take a look at this example here. So we've got a main plot suggestion. The scenario is an assault type, so the players or the PCs are going to make an assault, in this case on a stronghold that's probably in a village, and there's some poison air related to this. Maybe the bad air is coming from that stronghold. It's apparently causing failing crops, and perhaps it's because of overgrowth. So perhaps it's causing weeds to grow, or vines, or some invasive plant species, and that's destroying the crops. So the idea here's the main plot is for the players to have to go and stop the cause of that overgrowth. Now we've got a subplot here, and again you can take this or leave it. In this subplot, there's going to be some sacrifice. An entire people are going to be making a sacrifice, and it's a population boom. So what are those people giving up to create that population boom? Don't know. Something is going to happen within a month related to this population boom. And there is a heroic cleric and a magical item involved. So the idea with these arrows here is that what comes before the arrow leads to the second one when you're thinking of how to use these items. So an entire people are involved in a sacrifice. There is a population boom. Does this mean that within a month people are going to be running out of food? Because we could perhaps relate that back to the main plot line. Okay, so here's a heroic cleric involved as well. Is he trying to save them? Quite possibly he is a hero. And is he using a magical item? So basically you look at this subplot and can you weave it in your mind into the main plot? Also, another thing I should mention, as you work your way across this, you can just stop at any point. It's a tool there for you to use. You don't have to use everything that's mentioned on these plot lines. Now, to help add to the scenario here, we've got an NPC. Now, I haven't said that they're a protagonist or an antagonist. They could be the person giving you the job, or they could be somebody to be rescued. It's up to you to interpret it. So we've got Baron Lynn Edsor here, who has a taunting attitude and is a mature adult. Okay, we've also got an environmental issue here. We've got Hazard, which is an abandoned ship. So I guess this village up here would have to be on the coast in that case. And there's an imminent danger. Oh, hang on, so it's not on the coast. It's in a terrain type of lakes. So we've got an assault on a stronghold in a village in amongst some lakes. Okay, and we've got a town here. Again, it's called Rain Keys. It's predominantly an elf race, and the mood of the people is celebrating. Now this is an example of where you perhaps don't want to use this. I can't imagine the elves are celebrating if it's their village that's being destroyed by the poison air. But perhaps you could twist this round. Perhaps the elves are part of the problem. Have they cast some evil magic to make the overgrowth take place? Are they celebrating because the humans in this other village are being tortured? Could be. So let's click again. Much shorter plots here. Sacrifice. Someone's giving up their livelihood. They're going to have to work harder. And we've got the horse people. Interesting. So I perhaps think of the Rohirrim or some Mongol tribes that used to stay on horseback and keep moving all the time. So there's a sacrifice. People are losing their livelihood. They're going to have to work harder, perhaps because of the horse people, or perhaps they are the horse people. And the subplot is an exploration. It's an urban exploration, but there is a cave system that is a monster lair. Well, that sounds typical dungeon, doesn't it? And let's see, anything else interesting here? Kirby Hall. halflings who are oppressed. Interesting. So we can keep going. You can see it uses random numbers to generate this. The plot lines themselves use a sort of AI structure to try and create a meaningful plot rather than just random things. As I said, each item here on the left indicates a pick list of items for those on the right, and so on. And we've got a heroic elf this time. Okay, so there you go. That's the fantasy scenario mission generator. That's the idea behind it. This is to give your GM, your DM, your referee an idea of a mission that he can put the players through. And if you can tie everything in together, all the better. But you just pick what you want, and you can keep clicking the button as many times until you get something you like. If you like what you see here, there's a link in the description below where you can buy this from DriveThru RPG.